Alberta's Cathy Borst is her team at a 6-1 record, and a 7th win would make Snow White very happy. While BC's Sue Garvey is taking aim at Alberta here in Regina. Kelly Kalo's playoff hopes are on the line as she meets hometown favorite Cathy Draw of Saskatchewan. And it's Quebec. Marie-Claude Carlos taking on Lois Fowler, and the loser is in playoff trouble. After 11 draws, there's our leader, Alberta at 6-1. Ontario, Team Canada, that's Sandra Schmerler, both sitting at 5-2, and BC in good position at 4-3. But there's the bubble. There's 4 losses. Those teams cannot lose. Manitoba and Newfoundland hoping to play spoiler. Spoiler on Sheet A against Ontario. Newfoundland looking to beat and Merklinger. Sheet B, Saskatchewan against the Territories. Quebec plays Manitoba, and that's our feature sheet. Sheet D, Alberta and BC. We're in Regina for the 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts. We're in the Agridome in Regina for the 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts, and it's Alberta against BC. A big day for Alberta, a big game in Draw 12 here in Regina. Well, if you're wondering, the voice of TSN, Vic Router, is okay. He's just taking a morning off, a deserved morning off.
It took us 8 years, Linda, but we finally got control of this show, didn't we?
He's sitting in that little bed squirming, thinking, what are they doing?
Victor, have a nice morning, but I did leave some shirts out in case you're doing some ironing.
Well, Vic's probably watching because this is a huge game, a huge day for Alberta. Ray, Cathy Borst is playing very well, though.
Well, she's looked just tremendous so far, Linda. There's no question about it. And what I see in Cathy is in the team tour, the small things are doing so well. Things that were missing last year. You know, Heather looks so comfortable now at third. And the team itself, the front end looks strong with Kate and Brenda. It's a strong front end. They brush tremendously. Those are all the small things. Those are the things that made Sandra Schmerler world Olympic champion. And Cathy Borst looks strong, but Sandra Schmerler's still in this field.
She is. And you talk about some of the things you learn with experience. Sue Garvey, this is her first Scott Tournament of Hearts. And as skip, there's a lot of pressure on you. She is playing well, had a great game against Sandra Schmerler, and then had one against Ontario that got away from them. So, you know, it's one of those things where you learn from experience. She's still in great position, has a good chance, but this is a very big game for Sue Garvey and her rookie team, really. They have to perform today. So it is Alberta against BC. Draw 12. And if you want to get in touch with us or send a message to Vic, which he will pick up once he gets up, we have a website. Our address is www.tsn.ca/curling. Send a message to Ray, Vic, or I through that website. And we'll be back. It's Draw 12 here in Regina at the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
It was about the time that gold was discovered on Bonanza Creek that the Canadian Bank of Commerce set out on the epic trek to the Klondike to open the first official bank. There was plenty of gold, all right, but the men knew they could trust the bank because they were there on behalf of the government and could see a larger dream, a dream called Canada.
As in the past, CIBC continues to play a pioneering role by investing in Canada's vision of the future. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
When AT&T Canada started this Dime Time thing, I said to myself, Dime Boy, you gotta be a part of this. Call anyone in Canada, any evening, any weekend, for a dime or less. Who needs the phone? Dime Time someone you love, okay? I'm no hero. I'm just trying to get Canada talking. One dime at a time. New Dime Time, only from AT&T Canada.
Winning depends on how far you dare to go. Victory requires talent, skill, and the determination to push to the limit. Living on the Edge is brought to you by Edge Shave Gel, because to win, you need the edge. These are the thunderous waves of Hawaii's Maui Island. The world's most talented wave riders come for the ultimate aerobatic windsurfing. Timing is everything as wave riders reach speeds of 30 miles per hour, turn into the wind, straighten their legs and push with every ounce of strength. This is the outer edge of windsurfing. It's a shot of pure adrenaline as muscles and sails strain against the force of towering waves and powerful wind. Living on the Edge has been brought to you by Edge Shave Gel. Ultimate closeness, ultimate comfort, with 6 lubricants to help save your skin. That's the Edge.
Welcome back to the Agridome, and we're going to have a look at the ice. Day 5, Ray, and the ice has been pretty good. A little tricky, maybe.
Linda, it's a great ice surface, as you know, but it's a little bit tricky, so ice reading is a key. Let's talk about the curl around the center guards, about 2 to 2.5. Around the corner guards, about 3. But you got to keep your corner guard play inside this 8-foot. It just won't break into the 12-foot. There's no frost at all. It's a morning draw. You won't see any frost problems, so you can draw everywhere on the ice. You've got to be careful when you play the outside in shot. It runs pretty straight. Curlers have been getting caught on that. Later on in the game, you'll get some big movement. The key shot in the game today is the run back shot. You've got to be able to play it to get rid of those stones in the rings. Run those rocks back. 2 strong teams, 2 wanting bursts in the playoffs. This should be a good one.
Oh, you're right, Ray, and we're going to take a look at the colors because, of course, red rocks throughout this week. Have last rock in the first end, Alberta throwing red, BC throwing yellow. And to get us started, it's Val Lahusik, the BC lead.
It's a particularly big day for Sue Garvey, Linda. She's got to, she's a 4-3, and she's got to, stay alive and stay in the run for it. Cathy Borst is comfortably at 6-1, but for Sue, this is certainly 4 losses is going to be somewhere. But this would be a game that she would very dearly like to have.
Hurry hard! It's okay, though.
I think especially after playing that great game against Team Canada, that was BC's 4th game, and they did beat Sandra Schmirler and the defending champions 7-5. Right after that was the game that they maybe should have had. That was the game against Ontario that they lost on last rock. So I think Sue really wants this one.
Yeah, it's funny how games work. We were saying yesterday in our telecast, that game kind of got Anne Merklinger kick-started, and she's just been flying since then and playing her kind of style of game, and she looks very, very strong as well. But, in that case, Anne maybe stole a game that she could have lost, and Sue lost a game she could have won. But they look... you were saying, and you know her better than I do, of course, but she does look very confident. She looks, she plays her game, and she doesn't seem to let anything bother her. It's her first Scott, too, I believe, and it's amazing how she's just really looked very composed.
Clean.
So the first end will be a little open, but Sue Garvey generally is fearless, and we saw in Tuesday night's draw, the Alberta team, they'll keep putting it to you if you let them. We'll just look at the matchups again on the other sheets. This is a huge day, Wednesday at the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Ontario trying to stay on top. Anne Merklinger, sheet A, against Newfoundland. Heather Strong from St. John's Curling Club at 2-5, looking to play spoiler. Sheet B, that is the hometown favorite. We're expecting some fans cheering for Cathy Trail of Saskatchewan, meeting Kaylee Kalo of the Territories. Quebec, Marie-Claude Carlos has had a good run, 3-4. Lois Fowler, a couple of tight matches that she's lost, sitting at 2-5 on sheet C. And of course, our buys, teams that have the break this morning. Team Canada, Sandra Schmirler will come on the ice this afternoon at that 5-2 record. New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, both 3-4, along with Quebec at 3-4.
Two. Yep. 3.
Well, they'll be up and down the sheet a little bit here. The first rock dictating that, and it's pretty common to see. Cathy did play pretty aggressively last night.
Nice throw, Allie.
In her game against Saskatchewan, she made some wonderful shots. One very strong call in the second act was our turning point, where she made a definite statement by going in around a stone that was to freeze to the face of her own rock and really put the pressure on Cathy Trail. And Cathy, in that particular end, really had to make a decision. In my reading the ice segment, I mentioned how important the run back shot is. And I think in that end, Cathy should have tried to run the stone back and maybe eliminate 1 or 2, and hold the end to 2 or 3. But second guessing is great, and it's easy for us to do that up here. But you do see, and you'll see it in Winnipeg at the Brier, you must have that ability. You must be able to run those stones back. It's a nose hit. It's a good call of the line. It's reading the ice. It's a combination of all those things.
Just clean.
The men have one little advantage. Most of the men's teams, the top men's teams now, they do throw the big, powerful weight. And they throw it very accurately.
Nice takeout by Alison McInnes, the BC second.
This is also a very strong brushing team especially when Kate and Brenda are on the front end. They're very high. We'll point that out. We'll show you some of the brushing. Very high in their brushes. Heather, of course, a world junior champion, and so she has just fit in so well. And each time we see them, they just look stronger and stronger. Cathy, self-admittedly, was not happy with the way she played. And Brandon herself, the team, was a little inconsistent, but Cathy herself didn't have one of those Cathy Borst weeks. It looks to me like she's having one this week. She looks very focused and she looks tremendous. But as I mentioned in my opening comments too, there's a team that's not playing this morning. That's probably taking care of the kids and just getting themselves organized out there. And that is the best team in the world. So they'll be there. And if people think for 1 minute that they're burnt and they don't want to win this, you better have another thought. Because that team, every time that Sandra Schmurder team goes on the ice, they want you big time. They want to beat you up. They want to stomp on you. And they even use a little witchcraft.
This team was together last year in Vancouver at the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Played well, but as you mentioned, Ray, I think it was Cathy Borst herself who felt that she wasn't playing as well as she could, as well as she has in the last couple of games this year.
Okay, it's nose. Nice weight.
One thing about Cathy, that she is mechanically unbelievably sound. She throws it. She throws with a swing delivery, and those are all choices. But she throws, and we'll point that out as we go through the telecast. She throws it as soft and as square and as clean as anybody you want to see.
Little bit more.
Jan Wilson and lead for BC, Val Lahusik, have been in the National Mixed Championship, and that is their experience. And second, Alison McInnes from BC has been in juniors and Canada Winter Games. So they have experience, but we talk about it. It's just not quite the same as coming to the arena. And this arena is full this week with two Regina teams, Team Canada and Cathy Trail from Saskatchewan, playing in front of their hometown crowd.
You kind of get more and more impressed each day with this young lady. She's obviously, when you step out of juniors, that's the one thing too that's really interesting. You see very seldom do you see top junior skips. Kevin Martin was one that made the transition in a big way. But very seldom do you see the junior team step out of the junior ranks and step into this particular play, into the show, as it may be called, and make make it big. It takes, you've got to pay some dues. You have to lose some games. You have to fit in, and I'm sure someday Heather will go back to skipping, but she's made a great decision. She's now comfortable with playing third for Cathy, and she's playing for a very solid skip.
Up and down the sheet as the first stone comes in, and that dictates some of the play. Neither team wanting to take any chances in this first end.
2? Yep. Okay, let's go.
Alberta with the advantage of last rock, throwing the red rocks this morning, was all predetermined.
Yep. 2. Yep. Hard.
Though Sue hasn't been in a National Women's Championship, she's quite an athlete. She won the 1994 Kamloops Athlete of the Year award through both her curling and soccer prowess. She really is a tremendous athlete, and often you bring with you, Ray, from one sport to another, the mental skills that are really important in curling.
Well, that's really something we're talking about. You can go through Sandra's team. You can go through all the teams on the ice, and you'll find on each sheet of ice here there are all of these athletes have been strong participants as they're going up in other sports as well. I mean, it's you need all the things that to be a good curler. You need all those things, those eye-hand coordination, the concentration ability, to be able to, I mean, we can all par 4 holes in a row, but can we, we can't par 18. I hit the ball, keep it in play, have 4 pars, and then the triple bogey. I mean, so the ability to be able to concentrate for long periods of time and then relax yourself at the right time.
Little way your way, Katie. Katie, your way. Just control up. Just control up. Nice way.
You can hear both teams talking about the weight. This is a chance with an open end to get a feel for the weight. Even on those hits, you'll hear them describing what the weight actually was to the stick once the play was made.
Yep. Okay, 2.
Hard not to look around as an important day, Wednesday of the Scott Tournament of Hearts. One more day of full round robin play before the playoffs.
Settle down. Yep, clean. 2. Yep.
You see quite a contrast in the two deliveries between Sue and Cathy. Yep. Sue, maybe not textbook, but has that ability to be able to, you know, she releases everything, get a clean release, get straight out at the target line.
Normal up, probably.
So a chance to blank for Cathy Borst in Alberta, trying to retain the hammer for the second end.
Normal up.
Good solid grip, good control in the hack positioning, which is important even that early. The trunk lift, swing from the shoulder, pulling the stone straight out, stays high.
Yep. Yep.
Nice clean release.
Yep. Peel. Yep. 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 Hard. Hard. Hurry.
Good combination of the extra weight, good rotation, and a very nice peel by Cathy Borst. There's the blank. They'll keep the hammer to the second end, looking for her 7th win this morning. We'll be back. Yeah. Second in action here in draw 12.
Since 1982, Scott's Paper has been the proud sponsor of the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
That's right, Gavin. Scott Towels has been there for the spills of victory.
And Scotties was there for the disappointments of defeat. Oh, that was a tough loss.
Here's Sandra Schmerler and the Scott product team practicing their winning form.
What great action! That Scott team really delivers.
That was great. As always, the Scott Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by this family of fine Scott Paper products.
Next, another case of boredom twitch syndrome.
Nothing relieves boredom twitch syndrome like Star Choice Digital Satellite Television. Over 90 channels of movies, sports, and entertainment. All with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Honey, our favorite movie! Oh, thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
Since the Hendrick Racing Team started using Quaker State, they finished 1-2 in the 96 Winston Cup standings. Finished 1-2-3 this year at Daytona. And they've won at Rockingham, Bristol, Martinsville, and Charlotte. Which makes you wonder, is it in their blood or in their engines? Quaker State, the quality the Hendrick Racing Team demands, the quality your car deserves.
An update for you on Sheet B, Saskatchewan territories, and this is the way to get the crowd going for you when you're from Regina. Saskatchewan's Cathy Trowell. Ray, she's got a big double takeout here. Runs it back.
Into the pocket. Fabulous shot. What a way to start your right. Take the crowd, to get the crowd going for you.
A big 3 for Saskatchewan in the first end against Kelly Kalo of the Territories. And on the other sheets, we have Ontario getting 1 in the first end against Newfoundland. There's the 3 for Saskatchewan. Kelly Kalo taking the hammer into the second end. And 1 for Lois Fowler of Manitoba, playing Quebec, of course, on sheet C.
That's a little light.
And with that blank on our feature sheet, BC puts the first stone in play, Ray, and we've got some rocks in play this
Yeah,
hand.
we have. We've got 2 rocks in the free guard zone area, and actually there's a wide in-turn draw being played by Katie Horn with her last stone to try and get tucked in behind the long guard. Cathy will take it well back. Here comes one of those run backs I was talking about, Linda. This has got to be part of your game nowadays with this
Sorry, Katie. I said
struggle for the control zone being so important to the game.
Lighter or fast. I should have thrown left.
I think she's playing it maybe a little more quietly than we were talking about, tapping it up. Allison McInnes.
So we'll call it then a quiet run back. It's going to over curl a bit. Great way for Cathy Trowell to start with that double raise takeout, especially after the way the whole team, not just Cathy. Because we refer always to the skip the team, it was last night. It was a team effort in their game against Cathy Borst. It was they just didn't play well, and Cathy did play well, and when that happens, you usually get slam dunked, and that's what happened. Another chance for Cathy Borst. There's more Cathys out here. This is going to be a tough morning for the old Moose.
Hard.
She gets a roll here. She's just getting performance from Brenda, performance from Kate.
We saw Brenda's number. She was top amongst seconds so far this week.
You don't like the run through, eh? I think we should.
There's your comment, Ray, the front end, and Jan Wilson down the other end asking about playing this with hit weight.
Just the straight?
Run through.
Is this your straight rock?
Jan Wilson's going to come down and have a little chat with Sue.
You look at the thirds too, just to go on in the percentage discussion for a moment. We'll listen to them talk.
Well, if you get one in there frozen, if we peel this and don't get anything, we're cooked. Game's over.
Oh, I know, but what if we play the run through? If we can get it either way, we can hit it into the pocket or straight back.
Okay.
And ours will still be there.
Is this your straight rock?
I don't know.
This your straight one?
I'll let you know. Put my hand up.
They're just talking about Sue wanted just kind of to hit it back here and try and kind of freeze it into this area. And you heard Jan say, well, let's just play a run through on this. We got lots of opportunity. You're going to hit it in here. You might even get the double.
Oh, I thought she did too.
Alberta with last rock in this second end, so a little bit of trouble city for Sue Garvey in the Kamloops foursome.
Hurry! Come on! Hurry! Sit.
It's okay, Ollie.
Bit of bad luck there.
Very close, just not quite the right angle to hold the shooter or hold the raise stone.
Short's good.
Short's okay, Heather.
Gotta go.
73.
Where is it?
Think we're top?
Lots of room.
Top.
This is one of those cases, Ray, where they have to be very careful about placing this one.
Top 12,
remembering
coming out,
Linda's law, never to bring these ones deep.
Still room?
Gotta outbeat this one. Come on.
This is the kind of curling where it's not going to duck for it. It just ducked a bit. Pretty good shot, though.
Mind the red in there. We might be able to get the double off the top red.
What do you think? Do you like this still? That one's out counting this one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. So I'm throwing like one.
Gonna run this one back.
Alberta Stones are first and second shot. BC's Ray Stone hangs on for third shot at the moment.
Yep, hurry! Whoa. Hurry! Hurry! Come on, guys, hurry! 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 Hurry!
Great shot by Jan Wilson.
Well, in both cases, they got a little unlucky.
Yeah,
It wasn't
did.
exactly the angle so that the Ray Stone spills out, but that does get rid of the really tough shot. The Alberta Stone passes it by the BC Stone, which is very important.
Yeah, could have jammed it. You're right. Cathy Borst was looking at it closely to see who was shot, but regardless, she's playing it.
Control.
1996 World Junior Champion, hooked up with Cathy Borst after juniors.
Got control firm. Control firm. Yes. Hard. Whoa.
I like the call and I like the turn.
That's
I mean,
right.
the call's obvious,
Yeah.
but the turn, we talked about it the first two draws. I just think that that inside-out turn is just a little more consistent.
Is it high enough for that
And
double?
you can get away with a little bit of a
If we don't get in the roll?
release faux pas where you cannot on the outside in shot. If you set it back at all on those outside in shots down that line, that 12-foot, 8-foot line, you're in big trouble. You can see Sue Garvey's playing the same turn with Jan Wilson.
They have a chance for the double or the hit and roll with Jan Wilson's
Yep.
shot.
Whoa! Yep, whoa! Double! Yep, hurry! Hurry!
Great looking shot. Good shot by Jan. Wonderful shot.
Terrific shot. When you think what Alberta was sitting prior to third shooting, and now look at the house. BC Stones lying 1-2.
Man, that was looking a little
And Ray,
ugly.
they were looking at options here. They thought of the roll, but then when it went a little straighter, they decided on the double. And that's how you do it.
Probably this one's better.
And you notice everybody in position to sweep. That's so important these days. Good shot, good team effort.
It came right in.
That was almost to the edge of the eighth, right?
Yeah.
Out turn come around. Heather Gobertson.
And it was looking so much like Alberta would be building an end by this point, and now they're trying to rebuild the end.
Great shot back by Jan.
Hurry line. Hard. Got the weight. Hurry line. Room. Got the weight. Hurry line. Room. Okay, whoa.
It's a nice shot too, isn't it?
That's really a terrific shot when you think of the fact we're second end. They played mostly hits the first end.
No.
And she's got it in the forefoot.
Can you pass me a Lawson, Brent? Give me a yellow Lawson.
She was just a hair tight. Let's try there.
This is a tricky little shot. She's going to tap this back.
Okay. Yep, 7.5. Yep.
Ray, this is one of those cases where you pretty well throw the T-line weight, and if there's a chance for the tap, it's up to the sweepers and the person in the house, Jan Wilson in this case.
The freeze in the face is a good shot. You cut the end right down. Make it tough for Cathy to get two. And as you mentioned a moment ago, before Jan Wilson started shooting, it looked like they might get 2 or 3 on you. 2 great shots by Jan Wilson.
Line! Hurry! Hard, 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 hard! Roll it off there, come on! Yep, come on.
Roll it off.
Just under through it, that's all.
Good sweeping. Sorry, guys.
Now they swept that right out of her hand.
I was hoping it wouldn't bounce off that one.
behind the
Then
tee
it,
and Katie's curled over
she
here.
used it again.
Katie's her curlers. The second one or the first one? Give me a little more.
Yeah. Are we drawing or hitting? Okay. Yeah, mine went nuts, eh?
Full 8. Which one is your curler? Your second one? Second one. So that's
Talking about their stones, you know,
Yeah, and it has
the ones
heavy
that
weight.
cut more and they get to know them. She's just playing the draw. Look at the ice she's taking. Trying to get it right in this area
The
here.
back one you can see is biting 8. So full 8.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with the ice. We're
I'll
playing
get
sheet D on the right-hand side. That is the stands, and we haven't
Okay
seen
for
as much
top
movement,
12, it means
perhaps, especially later in the day from the side that's the warmest. But Cathy Borst has decided that it will curl here.
I talked to Dave Merklinger before the game. He said right away that there should be no frost out. That they're burning it twice a day. It's dropped in temperature outside a little bit. He said you still have to watch the house area. He was saying it's because of the airflow across that area.
Let it bend. Coming down, T-line, coming down, T-line. Yeah, back here. T-line. Oh, you want it back there? Back here. Hard.
Look, as far as you can get it now, this gives a chance to Sue Garvey to play the little flop.
Okay.
It just didn't break. She had a little bit too much ice. Hear what Cathy says.
Remember how far to take it back? Especially with
Actually, that's not bad. I don't know if she can get in the line.
Get across. I don't know.
PC was having a look to see how much of that red stone is exposed from the far end.
She's playing the bump back, eh?
They just had ice right here.
Back, I guess.
You heard her say just bump it back
Well,
a little
she
bit.
had
She'd
more.
love to
Cathy
get
had
some
more.
kind of a movement to this area here.
Try and throw back 12.
Back line?
Yep.
Okay, 7. A little more, maybe.
I don't know if Cathy Borst had too much ice or not, but she expected it to break more than that. So we'll have to watch this one closely.
Yep. Line. Hurry for line. Hard.
Oh, keep on
Hard.
Keep on this side.
No.
No.
Well, that one certainly did move.
She must have thrown it inside right off the hop though, because
Sue.
they yelled right away. Jan yelled right away.
He's definitely not happy with that one. Sometimes Sue has a little tendency to drift slightly to the right of target, which would mean in this case she was a little bit tight, Ray.
Just didn't get out to it.
You guys like the same weight?
So what a flip-flop in this end. We saw the build-up by Alberta playing the front stones and the come-arounds, and then the big bailout by BC, and now it's a draw for 3 for Cathy Borst in Alberta.
Edge of 8.
These are big shots. This is the extra point. These are the things that they've been doing very, very well, is taking advantage of all the little mistakes that have been made.
Line's good. Just for weight.
She gets feel for draw weight, and she seems to have it on this ice, Linda. She's very tough. We've seen that in the past. It took her to a final.
Bring it in, bring it in.
Just keeping it clean. Just needs 8 foot, and there it is, the 3rd point. 3 for Alberta. That's the way you save the hammer in 1 and capitalize in 2. 3-0, Alberta leading.
Excuse me, think your disposable razor shaves as comfortably as his Gillette Sensor Excel? Yeah. Well, try Sensor Excel. It'll change your mind. After one shave with Sensor Excel, we bet you don't go back. Because only Sensor Excel has protective microfins for extra comfort. Whoa. And self-adjusting blades for extra closeness. Disposables don't, and Sensor Excel gives more shapes per blade than any disposable.
Excuse me.
Take the Sensor Excel challenge. Bet you don't go back to disposables.
Hey, I want my Sensor Excel back. Hey, hey!
You know what to do. Wild party last night, huh? So what happened to you? Last I heard, you were headed for some body piercing place. Man, that stuff's too weird for me. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't do anything too stupid. 'Cause hey, you're the man, cool guy. See you at the beach.
position.
For years, you've heard the debate.
Duracell. Energizer.
Which battery lasts longer?
Duracell. Energizer. Duracell. Energizer. Duracell. Energizer. Duracell. Duracell.
Recent tests proved that Duracell outlasts Energizer. Better make it the alkaline battery proven to last longer. Better make it Duracell.
You know, and off the record, you just never know what our guests will do. All right, well, okay.
That's
nice.
a little bit better. There's the payoff. The pressure's building up, ladies and gentlemen. It's tense.
There is nothing there, so.
Ow! Jeff! Yeah! Then you come over here. And then you get your jersey over. Yeah.
It's Off the Record, weeknights on TSN.
Updating the game between Lois Fowler, Brandon Curling Club representing Manitoba, and Marie-Claude Carlos of Quebec. The Riverbend Alma Curling Club in Alma, Quebec. Manitoba takes one in the first end. Last drop for Quebec in the second end. This team, again, one of those rookie teams coming in and playing pretty well through the first few games. As a draw to the forefoot, dusting it right to the button. Very nice shot by Quebec, and that ties the score at 1. We're in the Agridome here in Regina. 4 sheets of action this morning, and Ontario steals in the second end. They're leading Newfoundland 2-0. Saskatchewan, you see Kelly Kalo, Yukon Northwest Territories, comes back with the 2, so it's 3-2 on sheet B. And there's the update we just did. Quebec and Manitoba tied.
3. Yep.
And here, BC Ray trying to get on track after that great end by Alberta.
Yeah, terrific end by Alberta. First of all, came to the top 12 foot, and then Sue Garvey played right in front of that into the free guard zone area, and so Cathy Borst played a guard on it, and that's the rock you're seeing being run off right now. And roll to the corner. Good shot. Looks to me like Cathy's going to stay right on the offense.
That's what we noticed last night. And actually, we've been talking about strategy during the week, and we saw in the first days.
Should we remove it?
We'll just listen to this.
Remove this corner. What? Remove this corner.
Hit the corner is what they want to do.
It's just going to run this back if we don't get the perfect guard. Then we can double out the 2 yellows.
I was going to say, Cathy has this tendency to begin with. The first day she didn't, and I was a little surprised, but you can see Heather's the one on the team maybe calling down about the more defensive shot, but Cathy's staying right on the offense.
One thing you do notice about this team, though, when Cathy decides, Cathy decides.
Okay,
and that was the case yesterday in the great shot she made in the second end. No one wanted to play that shot but Cathy. Cathy said, I know the weight, I'm going to make this shot around the guard. Please, put the boot down. Let's go. You know.
Yeah.
Right up tight. Hard. Hurry, 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 hurry.
Well, didn't come up for them. A little signal from Sue Garvey to Allison McInnes, bump weight.
Chance for Sue to get them spread out a little bit here. Catch this on the outside and roll over.
Board. Hurry! Board weight. Hurry! Weight's down a bit. Hurry! Hurry hard! Come on! Hurry! 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 Right up! Hurry! Hurry! Oh wait! Hurry! Roll that one. Okay. Nice
Good shot. Doubles there.
That was a nice thing for Alberta when they took that little risk, Ray. It still means that the Yellowstones are going to be top of the house pretty close together.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry.
Get the double.
Oh yeah! Hurry! Hard! Hurry! Whoa! 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 Sit. Shot. Okay.
Had to hit it thinner.
What, Alec?
Sue's going to play to the open side here.
7.5.
He's got a deuce set up. No point panicking.
Allison McInnes.
Better behind it.
Let's go. Oh, boy, it's going sideways.
It's a lot of sweeping this week. We can see how important the sweeping is, dragging it for weight as well as for line. And by this time of the week, they're all getting a little tired.
Come on, come on.
That one didn't have a lot of rotation either.
Oh, I got a rider.
No rotation, actually. A change turn, Linda.
It's in. You want to try the intern? Okay, just control.
Tell straight.
Control weight.
No, Heather's too fast. You can't do it this time, Ray.
Control. Whoa. Whoa. Little firm. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Yep. Yep.
But we do know they're playing the run back.
Hard. Hard. Oh, man, that's hard. Roll it over, Kate. Yeah, we need more ice.
Well, there's the reason for why that shot didn't work. Not enough ice.
Heather's actually asking, wanted to know if I threw it inside. That's what she was pointing at herself. Tap back here.
7.5. Curled hard.
Okay, I need about back 8 for this, yeah?
Okay.
BC with last rock, sitting 1, top 12. Alberta Stone to the left. His second shot, but the yellow one on the right-hand side is biting. Jan Wilson.
She made 2 great shots last end.
T-line. Yep. Hurry.
End one was in trouble, out of trouble, in trouble.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep.
Split would be great here.
Yep. Right over.
Another nice shot.
Jan.
Whoa, great shot. Good call, good shot.
And we talk about Heather Godberson because she is the one we have seen so much, but this battle at third seems to be one right now on the BC side. Terrific shot.
No, I don't like that. I like the run back on the red. I like the run back on the red or this
Keeping an eye on sheet C, third end of play. Score is tied. You can see Manitoba Stone top button, Quebec Stone back of the button.
How much can you see of this?
It's Marie Claude Carlos of Quebec. Looks like she's trying to come by the guard and just tap the yellow one.
If you miss it, it's going to go there. I just see.
That's Quebec's last rock. You can see they do not have last rock this end. Lois Fowler still has one to come. Now the stone is tapped, but it looks like the yellow one is still shot.
A lot of discussion in our game here, Linda.
Or do you guys like the run back? No. Control down.
Heather kind of wanted to play the run back on the redstone.
What do you want me to throw? Control down.
I think in a case like this, you should get up and go down the ice. Linda. I don't think it's a good idea to be.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Top right, Heather Godberson. Looks like she's playing the thin double. Bottom left, Lois Fowler of Manitoba. You can see she has to hit the button to score her second point.
Clean. Just control. Yep. Hard. Hard.
It's a great shot. He had lots of options off that shot. That's why it's a good call.
Moved it far enough that the Alberta Stone is shot. Bottom left, last stone of the third end on sheet C. Lois Fowler, Brandon Curling Club from Manitoba, has to hit the button for her second point.
Might jam that.
Ray, we're seeing a lot of movement this end, both sheets, and that one's going to rack. So it looks like one for Manitoba.
Yeah.
Tough shot for Lois anyways to hit the button, but lots of curl out here.
Jan Wilson's going to play the hit on this stone. She can see 3/4 of it. You have to be careful not to jam it. You've got lots of room to get it out of there. Got to get to the face of it, though.
Yep. Whoa. Yeah. Hurry. Hurry. Come on, guys. Hurry. Hurry. Right up. Hurry. Nice shot.
Great shot.
Whoa, that was close.
It sure was. Good curling.
This is good too.
Shot rock and second shot belonging to BC. Third shot to Alberta and fourth shot
that's
to
a really hard double.
BC.
It's really wide.
Hit this, try and roll over here into this area here, and there's a possibility you might clip this on the way by. You heard Heather talking about it.
The interesting thing, too, is if they hit it on the nose and BC hits it right back, the BC stone will not be second shot. If they don't hit it, the Alberta stone blocks the path for BC. So there is options on this one as well for Cathy Borst. First skips rock in this third end for Alberta.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Easy. Whoa.
Reach squat.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Just look soft. Sorry.
Heather.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Sit.
Great shot.
I need to roll to make sure I get second shot off that, eh?
I don't know why they weren't rushing it. I don't
Well,
understand
they
that.
were playing it for the nose hit
Yeah,
because if
but-
BC noses it back, Alberta can hit the shot rock on the side. And they may be able to get a roll in for shot rock themselves.
Across the face.
Okay. About there?
With one weight?
Yeah.
The only problem is
Yeah,
if
that,
BC
board weight
can get an inside angle on this, they might be able to tap that other red stone, Ray, and maybe even sit 3.
Move that one over. That other one's biting. One.
Okay, let's go, Sue.
So they're going to give it a try, Ray. They're going to try and cross this stone on center line and see if they can roll over and tap the other red one and maybe push it just enough to sit 3. Sue Garvey.
Close. Close, yep. No! Yep. Carol.
It's a good shot.
It's a good shot.
The Alberta stone is still second shot. Gives Cathy a chance to play the back one now. Lie 2, kind of take the end away.
Enough?
Had hit a little thinner.
We saw some move here. Yours in practice moved twice. Oh, right.
The reference back to the practice session when they try and play the whole sheet of ice in their practice session to get a look at it. And the big thing too is they'll match their stones. They throw the same stone. They know what stone they throw each time.
Okay, we have to stick this one.
There is room for an inside roll. There isn't any room for an outside roll. Last skip stone for Alberta, Cathy Borst.
You can't set this now. In other words, you can't set this back.
Firm. Yep. Yep. Hard. Yay! Hard. 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 No roll. Sit.
That's great sweeping.
I'll say, and great shot too. I mean, she just throws them so clean. Forces Sue in to draw for the single.
Should be enough.
I can't even yell anymore.
I think they thought at first, Ray, that was taking off.
Yeah, she threw it up. She threw it solid. So, and they do have good brushing. We'll take a look at their brushing.
That's gonna be. That's 2 already.
Cathy's losing her voice. It's something that happens a lot. Having all the sweeping and line calls. So they're doing a lot of the signaling. Last rock. Sue Garvey has to hit 4-foot. And it's just been last 2 ends flip-flopping. One team seeming to control the end, going back to the other team. And here Alberta's taking the end away from BC.
It's got lots. Oh, yeah! No, it's got lots.
No handle again. Linda, it's just sliding.
Will it hang on?
Hey, Sue.
That's a steal of 1 for Alberta.
One red. One red.
So after a very promising third end, it's a steal, and Alberta moves ahead 4-0 over British Columbia.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Wouldn't putting your stars together with our 5-star rating be a bright thing to do?
Remember, kids in the back seat.
And buckle up.
For years, you've heard the debate.
Duracell. Energizer.
Which battery lasts longer?
Duracell.
Energizer. Duracell.
Energizer.
Duracell.
Energizer.
Duracell.
Duracell.
Recent tests proved that Duracell outlasts Energizer. Better make it the alkaline battery proven to last longer. Better make it Duracell.
I saw the decade and went to the world to change at the blink of an eye. And if anything, and there's your sign. I was alive and I waited. I was alive and I waited for this. Right here, right now. There is no other place I wanna be. Right here, right now. Watching
The world's most powerful tools for the only world that matters. Yours.
right here, right now. There is no other place I wanna be.
It's the way we welcome the sun with 35 sunblock. The way some of the best water now mostly comes in bottles. It's the way we make time for exercise and like to enjoy reading. Today, more and more people are finding reasons to take better care of themselves. That's why Subway offers 7 subs, each under 6 grams of fat. Because when you're through surfing, you might want to go for a swim. Subway, it's the way a sandwich should be.
Updating the game between Ontario and Newfoundland and Merklinger of the Rideau Curling Club in Ottawa taking on Heather Strong St. John's Curling Club in Newfoundland. It was a steal in the second end for Ontario. So they were leading 2-0. Heather Strong trying to draw against 2 Ontario stones. You see them on the left in the 12, but on the right-hand side, just to the right, actually it's 3. There's the third stone on the right-hand side. A draw against 3, needs 8 foot. Nice shot by the Newfoundland skip, and it's 2-1. Ontario leading and getting the hammer back. And we've talked about them. They've been one of the 2 favorites here. Regina's Cathy representing Saskatchewan. Big 3 in the first end, but Kelly Kilo came back with 2 and was trying to make a game of it. And you can see the territory stone in front of the other Saskatchewan rock. Cathy will jam it, but she'll spill it out enough to get 3. 6-2, big lead for Saskatchewan. And in the game on sheet C, we have Quebec playing Manitoba, and we saw Lois Fowler get her 1 in the third end, and they're playing the 4th. 2-1 Manitoba leading over Quebec.
Well, we were talking in between in the break, Linda, you and I, and it was unusual to see Sue Garvey throw such a flat handle as that. I mean, that rock didn't turn 1 little ounce on the way down. Now, granted, she threw too much weight regardless, but I mean,
It makes quite a big difference, though, because when the rock is not rotating and taking its natural path and not curling quite often, it means that it's not having some of the weight taken off it because of that movement. It doesn't do anything the same way. it doesn't appear that it's frosty out there. We've said that in the mornings it's generally not the pattern, so it's hard to know why that is happening.
No, I don't think there's a frost problem because you've seen a number of wide shots. Like Cathy Borst's hit was a wide in-turn hit. No frost out.
So it's time for BC to try and get this one on track. Alberta with the 4-0 lead,
Lots
but
of room.
BC has the hammer and they have a corner guard up.
Yep, line's good now.
Line only.
Got lots of room. Yep. Finish it, you guys. Yep. Right back. Okay. Come on, Ellie.
5. Sport. If you get the front, that's okay.
Numbers for the seconds. You can't get any more even than that. Brenda Bomer and Susan McGinnis, 88%. Those are good numbers.
We got up, board. Firm.
Nice come around by BC, and Brenda will try and get at it. It is exposed.
Whoa. Shooting, Bren.
And she really has been very solid. We told you her numbers coming into the game. Brenda Bomer was the top second. She's proving it again today.
The weight came off hard at the end.
It's Allison
What are we
McGinnis,
doing here?
not Susan.
Yeah,
but there
two Cathys out there. Cathy Trawl from Saskatchewan, Cathy Borst from Alberta. We have Susan McInnes on the PEI team. We have Allison McInnes. No.
Well,
couldn't they make it a little easier for us, Ray?
well, it's not you. It's this age thing.
Gotta go.
You can't have a Susan McGinnis and an Allison McGinnis in the same event. It's got to be some kind of a rule.
Wait
from now
only.
on.
Just
That's Ray's rules. I said you're going to start. I have Linda's laws. You're going to start your list of Ray's rules.
Okay. Hey, Allie.
One of them, of course, is when you want to telestrate, the curlers can't be so quick.
That's right.
When you say telestrate, they have to stop.
Especially if I say it over the air. Well, defense in order for the Alberta foursome. And they do this pretty well, too. They have the ability to throw the up weight. Trying to peel this off.
Missed the back. Good one. Take it all the way out.
It's one of those type of shots that made her a World Junior champion and a great addition to this Alberta team. Heather Godfreyson.
Brush.
They are good. They're good brushers for sure.
Jan Wilson has made some terrific shots. This is a toughie. They come down and just freeze to or tap back shot rock.
It's got a curl. Got a curl.
Line only, back house.
Clean. Wait only. Okay. Nice shot, Jan.
Good shot, Dan. Same thing. I don't mind if you take this one, too.
Well, Heather Govertson at 88% is a solid number, but take a look at Jan Wilson at 92%. Those are terrific numbers, and both are playing very well. Jan Wilson's made some great shots in this game, Linda.
Now, she's gotten her skip out of trouble a couple of times.
Sue's a little flat. Just
A little more.
it happens.
Quick. Hard. Hard.
Trying to pick it.
There's the jam you wanted. Didn't look down to me, Heather.
No. If the ice is starting to move, those picks and peels are a little bit tougher to call.
Like just bump across the face.
Now what about just freezing it? What about the freeze?
On it.
Yeah.
If you do that, though, she could make the thin double.
I would sit right on top of it.
So we just want to freeze?
Okay.
Okay.
Just going to come down here and just sit right on top of this one here.
Sue's comment would be applicable if this shot is a bit heavy and maybe spills off. They might set up a double, but BC needing to take a few risks with that. You see it, big 4-0 lead for Alberta.
Line only. Line only. Line's good. Line only. Line's good. Bumping. Whoa, whoa, bumping. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, you just didn't want to bump it that much. And you wanted to keep that rock in a good spot.
Double's there, but it's scary because I could jam it here. You want to try for it?
I think so. If not,
A lot of big games out here today. We said BC needs this one quite badly. Alberta has a chance to stay at the top of the standings. Saskatchewan, another one of those teams trying to hang on. Cathy Trowell with a 3-4 record facing the Territories. Kelly Kalo at 2-4. And you can see all the red stones. Kelly Kalo with that deficit, 6-2, Saskatchewan leading. She was playing a lot of draws, a lot of come-arounds and freezes. Cathy Trowell just froze that red stone onto the face of the yellow one. Beautiful shot by the Saskatchewan skip. So Kelly with her last rock.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, Ray. I guess she's trying to angle it a little bit and see if she can pick the red one over top of the yellow.
Just control.
Very tough shot when you're already down 4 points. And in the top right, Cathy Borst. Ray, is she playing the hit and roll?
Yeah, she's going to try the double.
So last skip rock, bottom left, Kelly Kalo trying to just angle the Saskatchewan stone out.
Whoa. Yeah. Yes. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And the double, but the jam for Cathy Borst. And will the Territories know the Saskatchewan rock will not move far enough? It's another steal.
That's a good shot by Cathy Borst. That's about the best she could get out of that. The angle on the double was lined up for the jam, and she rolled over, and I think she's line 2 now.
So fourth end of play, Saskatchewan, Cathy Trowell from the Kelly Club here in Regina, 7-2 lead.
Sue Garvey can hit this on this just a little bit on the, almost on the nose, on the high side, the outside a little bit, and make the double and lie 2.
Firm 1, Sue.
Come down here like so, hitting this one here, onto this one here. It'll go that way. This will go that way. Your shooter will stay someplace in this area here, and you could be line 2.
Yep. Normal way? Yep. Okay, let's go.
Now this would be a big shot for Sue, Ray, because as you said, she's seeming a little bit flat, maybe didn't come out quite as strongly as she wanted, and this would be a good one to get her back on track.
One. Yep. Hard. Hurry. Hard. Hurry. Hurry. Hurry.
Okay.
Okay, Sue.
No, she came across the face. She had to hit it on just on the high side, on the outside a little bit.
Oh, mine did that. Inside out? Top
And obviously that is the difference in this game. Cathy Borst, though, 96%. Those are remarkable numbers, even this early in the game.
this way. We do that. We did this for your. Yes.
That percentage though transfers right to the scoreboard.
Okay. Should come across lots.
There's good. They threw one in practice that went from center to middle of white. Okay, right on tee.
All right.
Pretty fast here, 14.5.
She'll split the rings here, lie 2. Wants to get it back far enough so there's no double. On the tee line was perfect. In turn draw. The stone she'll leave to Brenda and to Kate. Brenda Mober, Kate Horn.
I think so.
Yeah.
So with their last skips, Roth looking to continue to apply pressure to the BC skip. Cathy Borst with the draw.
Hurry.
It was light right out of her hand. You could see the brushers. They thought it was light right out of her hand, but boy, they got on it immediately, and they're trying to drag this. I don't know if they'll be able to carry it that far.
Sorry.
Yeah, she threw it dead. You could see by the rushers their first reaction as they went to it immediately. So it's a chance for Sue to pick up a deuce. Hit this rock on the nose again.
I think so. Pretty hard right at the end. How much did I have about there?
Right here.
So a big miss by Cathy Borst. Anywhere in the 8-foot, and this shot wouldn't have been there.
Did she say you can see most of it? She said we could see about there. So, you throwing normal again?
Yeah,
or?
I think so. It'll curl up, don't you think?
Yeah, it should.
Okay, let's try it.
Now, if we think back right to the second end, she played down this side in the second end and had a chance to
I think we gotta try it, don't you guys?
a fairly delicate shot and slid a little bit inside target. So we did see that it curls here.
Same weight.
She definitely has to try. She can see 3/4 of the stone, and she can throw the same way. It will work. It'll come across. Her last stone came across. She got across the face of it when she actually didn't want to.
So BC's last stone, a chance for 2, and to close the deficit with Alberta.
Just gotta get it by. Oh, one of those days, eh?
One of those days, and a day that is very important to this BC team. It's a steal for Alberta, and they jump into a 5-0 lead.
I first started on a rink just like this.
Elvis Stoico knows what it takes to be a champion.
It takes hard work to deliver a top performance.
Like McCain Frozen Punch delivers the real fruit taste of real fruit juice for champions like Elvis Stoico. McCain Frozen Punch in a choice of thirst-quenching flavors like grape, orange, and fruit punch. So get the jump on taste, the year-round taste of real fruit juice in McCain Frozen Punch.
McCain, now that's top taste performance.
Sunday on Flight Path. A lifelong dream. A 15-year wait. A reusable ship that is part glider and part rocket. Join astronaut, payload specialist, scientist, Bjarne Tryggvason as he prepares to enter a new dimension. Countdown to orbit. Sunday. Flight Path. Fly in the face of danger.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Some of us thrive in wet situations. Scott towels are no exception. Thirsty Scott towels are so absorbent and strong you can trust them to soak up quickly, which is a good thing. For most of us. Scott towels, always thirsty for more.
Imagine living in a neighborhood where the worst traffic you encounter is a group of running 8-year-olds, where you actually know your neighbors, and the biggest crime committed is that steak you burned last night. Recreation vehicles. Wherever you go, you're always at home. Call today for a free brochure or visit an RV dealer near you.
Mondays, get in the paint. Check out what's happening in the game. Keep up on the Raptors and the Grizzlies. Take a look at grassroots basketball in Canada. Shoot it out with the stars of the NBA. NBA in the paint, Mondays on TSN.
Later today, this is a matchup we've been waiting for. Sandra Schmerler, Team Canada, defending champion, Olympic gold medalist, against the leader so far, and Cathy Borst this morning, also looking like she may take another one and head to 7-1. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. Team Canada, Alberta, later today. Ontario took one in the fourth to go ahead 3-1 over Heather Strong from Newfoundland. Saskatchewan, Cathy Trowell from the Cali Club here in Regina, leading Kelly Kalo of the Territory 7-2. And it's a tie, Marie-Claude Carlos from the Alma, Quebec, against Lois Fowler, the Brandon Curling Club, 2-all in the fifth end.
12.
And this last end was pretty disappointing, Ray, for Sue Garvey. She had chances, and with her last one, had a chance to really close this deficit. You can see every end. It's been flip-flopping. There's rocks in play, and BC's making some good shots, but it's just not being closed.
Well, the first rock was asked to top 12-foot, top 4-foot, and it slipped behind the tee line, which is not a good thing, and a good thing for Sue Garvey. She throws up the corner correctly so, and you can see that Cathy goes around it, counteracts the corner by going around it. She can't hit it. And now a little tap back, or even a freeze is good here. Just need a couple points to get yourself rolling. You're right, Sue Garvey actually again got a little bit of a bad break. Looks like she threw it well. She threw it up weight and just cut a little bit on her. And she just rubbed the front one. She gets by, she hits it, she scores 2, and what a difference, you know, 4-2s compared to 5-0. But that's the way this game goes. Cathy won't fool around now. She gets the opportunity with Brenda Bomer's first stone now to peel the front rock, and that's exactly what she's going to do.
Normal.
5-point lead.
More control-ish. Yep. Whoa. Just worried when she's wide on that straight rock.
So this is kind of a nice situation for Alberta, Ray, because last night they faced Saskatchewan. Cathy Trowell from here in Regina, knowing that the crowd would be with Saskatchewan, and Alberta took the crowd right out of the game with an early lead. Got actually an early finish to that game and got to bed a little early. Got on the ice this morning and now have nice control here, leading into a very big match against Team Canada later today. Kind of a nice way for Cathy Borst, because she knows Team Canada's coming off 2 byes, both Tuesday night and this morning.
I like both.
And they'll be well rested, ready to face Alberta.
This is my number 1. No, not that one.
Talking about the stone, one that cuts more than another. Just making sure that Sue knows which one she's throwing.
Yep.
Gotta go, gotta go.
3. Yeah. 3.
Just wants to bump it a little
3.
bit.
What do you got for weight?
Just to it.
Hurry. T-line. Hurry.
T-line.
It's going to overcurl.
Let's go on the other side.
Oh, keep it coming.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Ellie. I got 14.
Just play the top one.
Just get that top one.
I think I would play the top one.
You might be able to catch it real thin. We'll play for this one, just on the inside of this one.
Yeah, play for the one and then...
Play normal.
Yeah, but it's going to take out the back one, though. Should be playing for the top one.
I kind of agree with Heather on this.
Yeah, I do too.
I would be playing the top one.
The concern is the stones are not overlapped, but the one is slightly in front of the other. And Cathy Borst, this is really her style. She's going after the one that's closer in as opposed to maybe the safer play.
Curl.
Shot.
Okay,
take
good.
it out, Kath.
Worked
Take
out
it,
pretty
take it,
well.
take it, take it.
No jam.
Shot.
I guess one of the things that I've been seeing, though, with Cathy Borst is when I was watching her, as I mentioned the first day, she played very conservatively.
What do you like?
Came out of the first game with a win over Ontario 5-4. Came out of the second game a win over Quebec 6-5. Just kept it so that they had control but never really went for it. Since then, I've been noticing she has gone to this pattern. She just keeps defending with offense and keeps coming at you.
Line.
That kind of comes with confidence, especially in the draw weight of the ice.
Gotta go for weight. T-line. Let it curl if you can. Well,
Go back to that one. Come.
you can bring it all the way back to this one if you want. Let it curl.
And here Jan Wilson on the right,
Gotta go.
Val Lahusik on the left, urging each other on. And everything just a little bit light.
Take the back. That's fine, too.
Just control.
If you take the back one out and removing this one, it's a good shot. Get rid of it. It's behind the tee line.
Heather Godberson.
Jump! Down! Down!
Whoa!
Hard! Hurry! Whoa! Hurry!
I can't hear her.
Take the back one! Whoa!
nice shot.
I don't know what she. I know. You can't hear her voice that well.
Cathy has lost a lot of her voice with all the calls over the last 4 days. Perhaps we should send her down a little bit of my tea and honey.
You never share that.
Keeping an eye on sheet C, Quebec and Manitoba, 2-all tie after 4, playing the 5th end, and they've had a lot of rocks in play. Quebec stone just off the button, appears to be shot rock. It's first lead, skip stones, pardon me. Last skip stone for Quebec, I'll get it right. But there's one to come. Lois Fowler of Manitoba has last rock this end, and just a guard put up by Quebec. Obviously, they have shot rock back button.
And in the top right-hand corner, you could see what happened on the shot. And Cathy will go up and play the out-turn hit, removing the third shot rock, the yellow stone belonging to BC.
There's a very good look bottom left of the house now. Redstone is fully on the button. Manitoba with 2 in front of it, but there are guards out in front as well.
Whoa! 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 Off! Nothing.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Sit.
Whoa. Okay.
And in the top right, you can see Cathy Borst come to rest, so that Alberta is line 3. A little bit of a pocket, though, maybe, Ray?
Yeah, this is a good situation. You could get frozen on the face of the middle stone, the red stone, if you're looking at the box in the right-hand corner.
Just a smidge more, not much. You were a little bit too much on your one this way. Just a bit less.
Now in the bottom left, this is last skip stone. Manitoba trying the angle, trying the double on the red stones. And if they make it, there are lots of yellow ones in the house. Looks like it could be for 5, Ray.
Line only!
Line
only!
Wait only!
Line only!
Don't want to bump!
It's bumping.
Oh, room.
Top right is Jan Wilson's last third rock for BC.
It's gonna...
And here's Lois with the double takeout attempt, bottom left. Manitoba looking for the bundle.
He clipped this one. That's fine.
Yeah.
She's close. She's close if they brush it, I think.
See if we can roll that way a bit.
Yep.
Look at that. Now she did jam it, but the rock spilled off. We'll have to wait and see how many they put up.
Boy, I tell you, they almost left the brushing too long, though. That was, they didn't lay a brush on it.
It looks like 3 for sure, and now they're looking at the red stone at the back and the yellow at the front. What a great shot by Manitoba. Lois Fowler with her last rock. A big double takeout, and we'll get you the exact score as soon as we know.
Well, Jan Wilson bumped it, and that's what she didn't want to do. It allows Cathy Borst a chance to come down and hit it and remove it.
Okay.
You want to sit right on top of it.
Very good. My foot.
Didn't like the swing.
Of course, the rule is that you can stop and start in the hack. It's no problem as long as you hang on to the stone and the stone doesn't reach the tee line. You can actually restart the delivery.
Down, control. Yes! Yes! Control! Control! Whoa! 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 Good shot.
She's playing well, isn't she? Tap it back, Sue Garvey says.
Sorry. Wait, what's up? Like me? You went out and then in, and I'm like, oh, I'm just giving you a test. Okay.
7 for the ball.
She was talking about her slide,
Just a touch left.
inside, outside.
Bump? Yeah. About that, I thought.
Well, we showed you the big shot next door. Manitoba, Lois Fowler playing the double. And yes, it is 4 for Manitoba. What a great shot by Lois. In a tie game and a very tough shot. Cracks the big 4-ender. And they'll go into their 5th end break with a 6-2 lead.
Just a tap back for Sue Garvey. Try and move it back a little bit. Sit in front of it. Make Cathy Borst's shot a little more difficult.
Where are we? Where?
It's good. Line only. Back house.
Just
Whoa,
need a
back.
deuce.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let it come. Whoa.
Shot.
Well, she's trying everything she can with these taps, but punched it a little bit too far, and there is an opening for Cathy Borst.
But you could get a jam here too, Linda. That's not an easy shot. You can see what Cathy's going to do. She's going to try and hit this one here, of course. Drive it through this area here. But in attempting so, you could jam it there. You could jam it back there.
Just control? A little bit less weight than that.
We're on last skip stones in this, the fifth end of play. BC with the hammer. It's a big 5, those right behind Cathy Borst.
Control up. Yep. Control. Control up. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
I've never heard them agree yet.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oh, she's playing well.
Now the jam is not so important when 4 Alberta stones outcount the 1 BC one that they just jammed. And with the 5-0 lead and only 1 to come, Sue Garvey has to hit the 4-foot for her point. Try and close that deficit to 4.
Yep.
It's just been all Alberta in the last few ends. Their second end of play, even though Alberta got the 3, BC had some great shots, set up some possibilities, and then again in the 4th end, Sue had a chance for 2, but it was another steal. And now she has to hit the 4-foot with this last rock draw.
4 foot. Go hard.
Allison McInnes on the right, Valahusik on the left, sweeping right out of her hands.
Push it.
Tell me this game isn't physical. She just come up short. They tried so hard to get it there.
That's it. Shake. Yeah.
Well, you can hear them talking about it, and that's
Thanks,
it.
Cathy.
BC's going to call it a game.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you. Good luck. Thanks.
It was not to be this morning for Sue Garvey. Terrific game for Cathy Borst and the team from Alberta. 9-0 the final. Heading into a big game this afternoon against Sandra Schmirler.
Gotta get past. I thought I'd take your hat.
I first started on a rink just like this.
Elvis Stoico knows what it takes to be a champion.
It takes hard work to deliver a top performance.
Like McCain Frozen Punch delivers the real fruit taste of real fruit juice for champions like Elvis Stoico. McCain Frozen Punch in a choice of thirst-quenching flavors like grape, orange, and fruit punch. So get the jump-on taste, the year-round taste of real fruit juice in McCain Frozen Punch.
McCain, now that's top taste performance.
You're in room 1056. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you. This my notebook. Hey! You got my notebook! Excuse me! Hey!
Toshiba. Toughen up for today's world. Call 1-800-387-5645.
For years, you've heard the debate.
Duracell. Energizer.
Which battery lasts longer?
Duracell. Energizer. Duracell. Energizer. Duracell. Energizer. Duracell. Duracell.
Recent tests proved that Duracell outlasts Energizer. Better make it the alkaline battery proven to last longer. Better make it Duracell.
Son, you got to dig deep. You got to dig deep. Think back. Remember when you were 6 and we took you to McDonald's for your birthday party? All the kids, all the fun. All for you, son. For you. Remember that day, son? Remember when someone stole your fries, but we never found out who? Never found out.
It was him.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
The explosive, raucous, raunchy WCW Nitro hits TSN. Watch it and watch out. Wednesday, TSN.
Thursday, the PGA's best tee off at the Nissan Open. Defending champion Nick Faldo leads a top-notch field in Valencia, California. PGA drama. See it on TSN.
Well, with our game ending early, after 5, Ray, we've already got a turning point.
Well, it's probably the earliest turning point we've ever had, Linda, or one of them for sure. He comes in the fourth end with a chance with BC, a chance to get back in the game by hitting us and scoring 2 points, but she wrecks in the guard again, another steal, and that was really the turning point of the game. She had a chance to get back in the game with that shot.
Well, that was it. Alberta winning 9-0. A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN. We'll be back. We're moving over to watch Ontario and Newfoundland. It's Draw 12 here in Regina.
It's the way we welcome the sun with 35 sunblock. The way some of the best water now mostly comes in bottles. It's the way we make time for exercise and like to enjoy reading. Today, more and more people are finding reasons to take better care of themselves. That's why Subway offers 7 subs, each under 6 grams of fat. Because when you're through surfing, you might want to go for a swim. Subway, it's the way a sandwich should be.
Waiting for the fish to bite, you think about how smart your daughter has gotten and how much your son is starting to look like you. And you wonder why you never noticed until now. But you might as well head back to camp. The fish seem to be as relaxed as you are. Rediscover your family while you discover North America. Recreation vehicles. Wherever you go, you're always at home. Call today for a free brochure or visit an RV dealer near you.
Tools for the only world that matters. Yours.
Right here, right now. There is no other place I want to be.
Thursday, the NHL's best are back on TSN. Catch an original 6 matchup between the Leafs and the Rangers. And best of all, there's no time change. Molson NHL tonight. Check it out on TSN. Five Nations Rugby is coming at you. Friday, Scotland takes on France. TSN.
The 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts from Regina, Saskatchewan on TSN is brought to you by Pillowy Soft Purex Bathroom Tissue.
Well, we are in the 6th end of play. Saskatchewan, Cathy Trowell leading the territory 7-3. We saw that wonderful shot by Lois Fowler of the Brandon Curling Club from Manitoba. 6-2, they're leading heading into 6. And our game of final, Alberta 9-0. What a tremendous game for Alberta. Cathy Borst, Otwell Curling Club at Edmonton, came out firing this morning. So that means we're moving over to watch Ontario and Newfoundland and Merklinger of the Rideau Curling Club against Heather Strong, St. John's Curling Club. And this one is a very tight battle. Ontario up 3-2 with the hammer in 6, Ray.
Ontario throwing the red stone, lying one on the edge of the forefoot. You can see it, and Newfoundland skip trying to get a rock around the center guard to the top of the button.
This game started with Ontario holding the hammer, taking one, stealing one in the second, and then there has been the exchange of singles.
Well, she was playing the raise, not the come around as I suggested.
And it was a very nice raise.
Yeah,
Didn't
just,
quite get shot rock. Patty McKnight, the Ontario second. Coming into the game at 79% shooting average, and this team has been together, one of the longest teams here at the Scott Tournament of Hearts. They played together in the 93 and 94 Scott Tournament of Hearts. In 93, reaching third place. 94, not quite as good a year for the Ann Merklinger squad.
Well, I think if you talk to them too, and they weren't satisfied with their showing in Brandon either. You know, Ann's been close a lot of years. It's a tough province to get out of. She beat Heather Houston in the final this year to get here, and she wants to certainly you know, come up a lot stronger than she has in the last couple of showings at nationals. So, and once they got that, they stole that game from BC. They really turned around. They played very well since then.
Now, heading into that game, which was draw 7, they were 1-2. And then that, as you say, stole the game against BC to go to 2-2, and since then have not lost and have looked very strong. Patty McKnight. Trying to come to the top 8-foot, top 4-foot.
Too much weight for Patty. Gotta be careful.
She knows it.
The shot in the 4-foot, the Ontario stone in the 4-foot, and just Heather Strong just signaling down the ice. How much can you see of this? So they'll decide on the weight now. It's certainly exposed, about half of it exposed.
This back end for Newfoundland has some junior experience. Won't quite make the hole. Now, this is an interesting situation, though. This is Ann Merklinger because, yes, she has the hammer, but the moment, second and third shots belong to Newfoundland, and they have a center rock.
She stays on the offense, and it's a good call behind this rock here. The key is to keep it in front of this, you know what we call it, Linda's Law. With that kind of weight, do you think she was trying to come through the hole? I don't know if she wasn't maybe just peeling it. I would have thought if she was coming through the hole, she would have come through with tap back weight. She just buzzed that. Michelle just buzzed that down there. She changed her call and changed her call at the last moment. Played the hit on the back one to lie 2 and spread them out. Her first inclination was to go around the long center guard. She does that to kind of trick us, to make me look bad.
But we've seen this with other combinations. You have one of the players in the back end, an Ann Merklinger, for example, that is very aggressive, and a Teresa Breen in the front end that are the conscience and give her input. Not that Ann will always go with the input, but say maybe we could do the combination, the hit, and also sit for second shot. So they have a little discussion and end up with the call.
Looking for the roll. Not quite.
Kelly Sharp, the Newfoundland third, as I mentioned, 95-96 junior provincial champion. Of her first Scott Tournament of Hearts experience.
Board weight, hit and roll in front of the stone. The other yellow stone sitting just in the 8-foot to lie 2, spreading the 2 Ontario stones out.
Teresa had that wonderful game that we witnessed against Team Canada where she curled 93%. 73 in this game are still great numbers. It looks like she stayed for second shot. Very nice.
That's a nice shot by Teresa, because it's second shot and it's frozen in front of a stone. This end is setting up very nice to get your deuce, and that extra point in this end is a big point. It's a control point.
We have an interactive from the website brought to you by Ford. How many curlers have won consecutive championships? I'm assuming that means women's championships. And we certainly know that Sandra Schmerler, Team Canada, that is here, won in 1993 and 94. Before her, Vera Pezer, also Saskatchewan, 1971, 72, and 73. And Heather Houston repeated in 1989 after being Team Canada and Ontario representative. It's important that that one actually gets out. Just caught the corner. Heather Strong of Newfoundland.
In turn come around. This is a great opportunity for Ontario with Anne's first stone. She's got this situation here with the shot rock there and a backing behind it. So if she makes a good shot around here in front of the tee line once again to lie 2, it really puts a lot of pressure on young Heather Strong, because to get one of those out would be difficult.
Now there are numbers we don't see very often for Anne Merklinger. She will not be happy with her performance, and would really like to put one in here. Has a great chance to score at least a deuce with the hammer.
It was light all the way too, and I don't think it was going to make it. It just was strictly weight. She obviously had the right ice, because it curled a little bit, but she underthrew it.
Well, it's a funny thing. Anne's coming off 2 terrific games, shooting in the 80% range, and some mornings, like Sue Garvey saw in our game, our feature game that we started on against Alberta, you come out and nothing works. It's very frustrating as a skip, especially if you don't have the weight.
When the game that we just did, the BC Alberta game, it was really interesting, because in that crucial second end where Alberta got 3, it looked very early in that end that Alberta was going to score 2 or 3 and multiple points. All of a sudden, Janet Wilson made 2 sensational shots, and the whole end turned around, and looked like Alberta would be happy to get 1 out of it. Sue, who came out a little flat, unfortunately missed a couple shots, and Alberta ends up getting 3. So it's amazing how this game can flip-flop. The rock is frozen, and so Heather Strong, and probably rightly so, decides I can't squeeze that out of there, so I'll play the come around myself and try and get to the top 4 foot. She just doesn't think she can squeeze this situation out, and I think she's probably right, so she's going to come around here, try and get the rock buried right in that area there behind that.
Heather Strong made a terrific draw Tuesday evening against Prince Edward Island in the 10th end, and actually stole the 10th end from PEI. And it's right on the button, covering the hearts.
Pretty good shot. It just didn't finish for her. Maybe she threw it there without any brushing, and I think Anne can see about half of it. So she's indicated back 12-foot weight, tap it back for a deuce. You can see the ice she's taking, so she's obviously playing it very quietly. Heather Strong gets a little bit more finish on that. That rock would not be accessible.
We talk about the way momentum flows through the game and the way skips can gather some confidence. I mentioned it in Sue Garvey's case in our feature game against Alberta. This is one of those, Ray, where as a skip you've just missed a draw, pretty easy shot when you look at it, a come around. This is almost a must shot for Anne Merklinger at this stage of the game.
Well, all these players are so mechanically sound that the game is definitely in the head. It's like when you miss that first 2-foot putt, now you miss the next one, and all of a sudden you don't want to putt it anymore. I've got a couple of close friends, Billy Hodgson and Brian Graver, that never make a putt, so they're never in that situation.
Well, the weight's all right. Will it tap it, though? No. A steal for Newfoundland. The rock would not come up for Ann Merklinger. She will not be happy. Tie game after 6.
Since 1982, Scott's Paper has been the proud sponsor of the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
That's right, Gavin. Scott Towels has been there for the spills of victory.
And Scotties was there for the disappointments of defeat. Oh, that was a tough loss.
Here's Sandra Schmerler and the Scott product team practicing their winning form.
What great action! That Scott team really delivers.
That was great. As always, the Scott Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by this family of fine Scott Paper products.
For years, you've heard the debate.
Duracell. Energizer.
Which battery lasts longer?
Duracell.
Energizer.
Duracell.
Energizer. Duracell. Energizer. Duracell.
Duracell.
Recent tests proved that Duracell outlasts Energizer. Better make it the alkaline battery proven to last longer. Better make it Duracell.
You're in room 1056. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you. This my notebook. Hey! You got my notebook! Excuse me!
Toshiba. Toughen up for today's world. Call 1-800-387-5645. Imagine living in a neighborhood where the worst traffic you encounter is a group of running 8-year-olds, where you actually know your neighbors. And the biggest crime committed is that steak you burned last night. Recreation vehicles. Wherever you go, you're always at home. Call today for a free brochure or visit an RV dealer near you.
WCW Nitro explodes on your screen with more of the raucous, raunchy action you love to love. WCW Nitro, Wednesday on TSN.
Later on Off the Record with Michael Landsberg, it's Vince McMahon, WWF. That's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, here on TSN. Updating the score between Quebec and Manitoba. Manitoba leading 6-2, but in this end, Lois Fowler called for a hog line violation. It's her second of the tournament. And so it's a draw for 1 for Marie-Claude Corlos of the Riverbend Alma Curling Club in Quebec. And today it seems like there's a lot of rushing, but they're just keeping it clean. A draw against 2. Very nice into the 4-foot for Quebec, and they will close to within 3 of Manitoba. Manitoba with the hammer heading into the 7th end. Saskatchewan, Cathy Trowell of the Cali here in Regina still leading 7-3 over Kelly Kalo of the Territories. And our feature game, the one we started with, Alberta, Cathy Borst of the Otwell in Edmonton, 9-0 over Sue Garvey of the Kamloops Curling Club. And that moves Cathy Borst to 7-1 and leading the pack heading into the big afternoon draw against Team Canada.
Yeah, we anticipated a much better game for Alberta against BC, but as you mentioned, Linda, Sue came out very, very flat herself and just couldn't get it going, and nothing worked either. She tried everything and just nothing worked for her. She rubbed the front guards, and you have those kind of days, and so she's going to have to regroup for sure, to get herself back on track. So. And then this afternoon, you got the world champion, the Olympic gold medalist, against the hottest team here, and that's Cathy Borst. So if you stole the morning off, you can steal the afternoon off and stay with us.
You're sending those notes out too, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
Ray?
I'm phoning all your employers.
Good.
I could just see all the girls in my offices, St. Mary's Avenue and Corden Avenue, all taking the afternoon off now.
That's right. Well, you've said it's free game for everybody. And that's the one we're looking forward to. Cathy Borst coming off that big win, facing Team Canada. 2 byes Tuesday evening and this morning. That's 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific. So those in British Columbia, get your lunch ready. And those on the East Coast, grab some afternoon tea and join us.
That was a big miss by Ann. You know, she'd be the first to tell you. I mean, you're playing a hit for 2 to make the score, you know, 5-2 as opposed to 3-3. So huge shot.
The experience of a skip is a bit unique. We talk about how every position is very important, but when you're the skip, you can see Ann standing behind Heather Strong there waiting. You know your team is setting up the end. You saw last in, they got some rocks in play. There was a great hit and roll into a position where the Ontario Stone could not be removed, and now you've got a draw with your first and a tap with your second, and you miss both of them. And sometimes, as I say, you don't know why. You feel like you're throwing it all right, and nothing's working. For Ann, I said the last one was a must make. It would have really made a difference in this game, but now there's a miss. Michelle Renouf of Newfoundland, and they have a chance to set up the end again. And Ann really has to fight the frustration and make something work this end.
Michelle threw so much weight. I don't know if that's the kind of weight that, I mean, just a little bit of inexperience here, obviously, with this young back end, Linda, because, I mean, that's not the kind of weight that you're going to throw on a shot like that. That inside-out shot will run pretty true if you just take the 4 or 5 inches of ice and just throw your normal, you know, your control weight. You don't have to buzz them down there. Once again, as you mentioned, Ontario setting up this end. They've got a corner guard out in front and 1 rock behind it. They're drawing to the other side. Patty McKnight to try and split the house.
All 3 of them, Audrey Frey, Teresa Breen, and Merklinger, sweeping it in.
I mentioned in the Reading the Ice segment, very difficult to get behind the corner guards when you're trying to get into the 12-foot. They just won't break for you. There's not a lot of heavy frost today, but there is a little bit more out there. There's no play out there. There's been no brushing out there. So you just can't get them buried into the 12-foot.
Kelly Sharp just looking down at the skip Heather Strong. They were deciding which of the 2 stones to go after. They've decided to go after the more open one.
Better throw. Now this is the way you can get it behind the corner, by hitting and rolling, that's for sure. Out-turn hit for Teresa Breen with her first stone. Playing 7. Ontario with last rock. Score tied 3-3. These are big shots.
Very nice shot at the moment. Those 2 Ontario stones nice and even. There's no double takeout possible. Heather will call for the hit and roll.
She's gone to the outside in shot, and this is the shot that we think you have to be a little more careful. It certainly can be made, not hard to make these, but you really got to be careful. You cannot set them, in other words, set them back at all. And you can see that they've asked for the other turn now, and this is the safer of the 2 turns. Just throw your nice control right weight. It'll run down there about, take about 6 inches, 5 inches of ice, and it'll curl down.
Kelly Sharp.
Good shot by Kelly and a good call by Heather. You can see Ann taking the edge of the stone. She wants it to curl across the face a little wee bit, try and get the roll behind the corner. You don't want to lose the situation, though. You are hitting to lie 2, so you have the control point in your pocket here. If you can just exchange the stones down the line. Nice control weight. Pressure's leaving it. No problem.
And as you gain experience and confidence with the ice, people like Teresa Breen, you see that control weight being used more and more, and the sweepers coming into play more and more. And of course, that is the objective, to have it as a full team effort and to really control that stone.
Here's a situation where, you know, where Heather Strong is taking a little bit more ice because she'd like to roll over the other way. Once again, she has to be careful not to overthrow these, because if you step that, we told you from the very beginning, when you step that weight up, the rocks will run straight. This is this turn is, the inside-out turn is a little more consistent, and you can get away with a little bit more on the release than you can on the outside-in shot. But she'd like to roll over the other way, over towards the other Ontario stone.
Second, Michelle Renouf and Heather are left-handers, so this is the in turn for Heather.
Of course, I knew that, but I just was with you.
Absolutely.
She wants desperately to get the roll. She threw it well. No such luck. Hands out turn. Edge of the stone.
And this is where you have to just think about weight to the broom. Don't think about the past shots that haven't worked. Keeping an eye on the game of Saskatchewan and the Yukon Northwest Territories. Kelly Kalo throwing her last rock of the 7th end, but last rock does belong to Saskatchewan. They have that 7-3 lead. It was an attempted freeze on the bottom. Doesn't quite work for Kelly.
And definitely got that started right out of her hand. She threw it across, and you can see she just ticked it. She's really struggling personally. The team played a pretty solid end, and Anne herself is really struggling. We've seen 3 shots now since we moved to this sheet, and we've seen 3 misses from her. Uncharacteristically. But she's, the last 3 or 4 games, Linda, she's played very, very well.
Very strongly. So on the bottom left, last rock of the 7th end for Saskatchewan, Cathy Trowell of the Kelly Club has the hit. Kelly Kalo sitting at a record of 3-4, the same as Saskatchewan, so a big game. Doesn't want to jam it. And there it is. 3 around the 8-foot for Saskatchewan. Nice way to rebound after a game last night against Alberta that Cathy Trowell probably wasn't as happy with. The whole team would have been as happy with. A good effort, 10-3. The hometown favorite, Cathy Trowell, leading, and there they are. That's going to call it a day. So Cathy Trowell and the Saskatchewan team improve their record to 4-4. Kelly Kalo and the Northwest Territories team go to 3-5.
In our game, Heather Strong got rid of everything. She jammed on the back one. She got rid of the stone, and so Anne Merklinger will just throw this through the rings. Try and get one clean throw.
You know, this time, if I was the coach, I really would come down and have a little chat with Anne. They can do that between ends. She is just really struggling. The score is tied here after 7. Ontario holds the hammer, moving into the 8th end.
Introducing new McCain Golden Crisp Waffles, made waffle iron thick to stay fluffy on the inside while toasting up golden and crisp on the outside. Treat yourself to the real waffle iron taste of new McCain Golden Crisp Waffles. Waffle iron thick to toast up light and crispy every time.
Winning depends on how far you dare to go. Victory requires talent, skill, and the determination to push to the limit. Living on the Edge is brought to you by Edge Shave Gel, because to win, you need the edge. 3,000 meters high, 130 skydivers, and the world's biggest helicopter. A formula for pure excitement. Falling free for over a minute at 17 feet per second. It's a magic carpet ride, a dream come true. Ride the rush of the wind. Glide towards the earth below. Living on the Edge has been brought to you by Edge Shave Gel. Ultimate closeness, ultimate comfort, with 6 lubricants to help save your skin. That's the Edge.
I'll be back on Tuesday. The number's on the fridge. I color-coded all your meals so you won't be confused. The blue one is a beef dish. B is for beef. The pink one's a pork dish. P is for pork. You get the idea. The green one is for vegetables. It should be violet for vegetables. But I thought you might see violet but think purple and interpret pork, which would defeat the whole purpose of convenient color coding altogether. 4 minutes on high, stir halfway. Bye, guys.
So what do you guys want for dinner, blue or pink?
Did somebody say McDonald's?
I hope Mom color-coded breakfast, too.
Power plus pride and perfection equals playoff position. Witness the March of Champions on TSN as our university athletes go for glory at the CIAU Finals. Both men and women fight for superiority in basketball, volleyball, and of course, hockey. So don't miss a heartbeat of the purest, most spirited series of sporting events this month. CIAU March of Champions on TSN.
That's the Nissan Open. Coverage begins tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Nick Faldo is the defending champion, the Nissan Open. You got him in your golf pool,
No,
Ray?
I haven't. No.
You don't need him in your golf pool. You're doing so well.
I certainly am. David Duval I have.
Well, we know this game is tied, Newfoundland and Ontario 3-all, and we know that it's still anybody's game, but you know, end after end, that I feel so much for Ann Merklinger being in the position of a skip. She had it set up again last end, and just nothing is going right. And as I said, in that break, the team has been together a long time. They have coach Jim Waite, who has a lot of experience. Somebody has to try and just find a few words just to ease Ann and let her just throw, not think, just throw.
Well, the first rock went out in front, and Audrey Frey made a great come around. That's the rock at the top of the 12-foot. You saw the chip of the guard, and now Ontario gets a chance now here in the 8th end with the hammer once again to put in a second rock in play, and they're drawing to the edge of the 12-foot. Good brushing by Patty McKnight, Teresa Breen. And this end sets up nicely once again quickly for Ontario, but lots of shots to come. This is great experience for this young skip, Heather Strong, out of Newfoundland. It's we talk about it a lot. You have to come to the nationals. You have to play the teams and get the experience to be able to consistently come back and win.
Michelle Renouf was in the mixed event. She was a 1995 provincial mixed champion. But it is her first Scott Tournament of Hearts experience, and experience it is. Certainly a wonderful experience and a real learning experience in your first appearance. Karen Thomas of the Newfoundland team, the only player who has been to a Scott Tournament of Hearts before, and that was in 1989.
Patty McKnight, out turn draw, spread the rocks out.
We talked about Brenda Bomer in Alberta being the top, second coming into it. Patty McKnight just behind her. Second among seconds. I have been very impressed with Heather Strong and her approach in the last few ends. Whether you agree with her shot calls or not, she has a definite feeling for what she wants to do in the 10th. We can think back to a game we were covering, and they had a situation of whether they wanted to try and blank or take a point. It was to try and stay 1 up or go 2 up. And the blank was tough, and she said, I want to be 2 points ahead, and she was very definite, and that's how she played the 10th end. And I think that's very important as a skip in your first appearance, to take that control and call the shots.
Nice shot, almost the roll. That's going to hit the third shot rock and roll over. The back one is exposed. Kind of an interesting call. I'm not sure I would be doing this. Looks like the back one is open a bit.
It does. Patty McKnight.
With that roll, though, you set up a possibility of Heather Strong getting out of this with a nice double. It's certainly there. Out turn, hit it a little bit on the center line side. And you can make the double.
You saw our indication to Kelly that if it doesn't hang out that much, if it comes up a bit, you can also roll in front of your own. So 2 options here for the Newfoundland team.
It's a bad break because she jams it. The double is just as easy, just as available.
So the end setting up again. Teresa Breen, a chance to hit and stick and set the 2 up. Ontario with the hammer here in the 8th end. It's a 3-all tie.
Well, you're right, Lynn. It's setting up well again for Ontario. Kelly Sharp trying to hit this and roll over towards the stone on the other side of the rings.
But it's going to roll out, and Teresa has a chance to put the 1 back, maybe even a better position.
I think Heather Strong's just giving Kelly, for the weight Kelly's throwing, they're not throwing the same kind of weight, and Kelly's been throwing them pretty strong, and I think Heather's just giving her a little too much ice.
Keeping an eye on sheet C, Quebec versus Manitoba. Lois Fowler of the Brandon Curling Club with the lead over Marie-Claude Carlos of Alma, Quebec. This is our last skips rock, so this is the last one for Quebec. Manitoba is sitting 4. There are 2 center guards up, and Marie-Claude Carlos is trying to draw around them, going for the steal. You saw the nice draw in the top right. Ontario sitting 2.
This young skip from Quebec has made some sensational shots all week, and there's another one too. She gets it almost fully buried. Lovely shot.
And that's what you have to do, and we see this. The rookie teams we talk about, they are doing the right kinds of things. You leave rocks in play, as Quebec is doing. The Manitoba Stones, yes, there are 4 in the rings, but you're down 3. You have to try that situation. Lovely shot. And in the top right, Newfoundland, Heather Strong will hit and just roll to the side of the 12-foot.
And we'll ignore that draw to lie 2. Now she's missed her last 3 stones. So this is a big draw. Split the rings.
In a way, these are 2 big shots. We see Lois Fowler with the big lead, and if she can make a score here, she has great control of the game, but for the mental side of the game, this draw for Ann Merklinger is just as important. The first skip stone for Ontario. On the bottom left, last rock of the 8th end, Lois Fowler.
Nice shot by Ann.
We'll get back to the Ontario game as we watch Lois Fowler's rock come down. It looks like she's just trying to come down to the redstone and tap it a little bit for 2. And there, I think she's got the 2. Very nice shot by Lois. Manitoba moves in front 8-3. Manitoba coming in with a 2-5 record. Quebec 3-4.
Well, it's a long shot, but the 5 losses is still accessible. Out-turn hit for the young Newfoundland skip. Try and hit this and roll over and make Ann hit the stick. Good shot. That's all she had, all she could do. Needless to say, this is a key shot for Ann Merklinger from Ontario.
Made the lovely draw with her first one to set up the possible 2. Has struggled in the last few ends. Chances for 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. Now another chance for 2, this time in the 8th. Hit and stick for Ann Merklinger. You can just see the focus. Sometimes these open shots are just as tough as those key draws to the button on a day like today.
Control weight.
Well, there's 2 in a row for Ann. Very nice takeout after a terrific draw, and that's 2 in the 8th. For blanking 7, Ontario moves ahead of Newfoundland Heather Strong 5-3.
Waiting for the fish to bite, you think about how smart your daughter has gotten and how much your son is starting to look like you. And you wonder why you never noticed until now. But you might as well head back to camp. The fish seem to be as relaxed as you are. Rediscover your family while you discover North America. Recreation vehicles. Wherever you go, you're always at home. Call today for a free brochure or visit an RV dealer near you.
For years, you've heard the debate.
Duracell. Energizer.
Which battery lasts longer?
Duracell.
Energizer.
Duracell.
Energizer. Duracell. Energizer. Duracell.
Duracell.
Recent tests proved that Duracell outlasts Energizer. Better make it the alkaline battery proven to last longer. Better make it Duracell.
You're in room 1056. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you. It's my notebook. Hey! You got my notebook! Excuse me! Hey! My notebook!
Toshiba, toughen up for today's world. Call 1-800-387-5645.
Vic, not so fast. You've got to give these new approaches to the game a chance.
I don't know, Linda.
Hurry.
I'm a little bit worried about what's coming next.
Hard. Don't worry. The players can handle it.
Canada's hottest shot makers are rocking the house in Regina. Catch 3 draws daily from the heart of hard rock country. The Scott Tournament of Hearts. You've got to see it on TSN.
We're in Regina for the 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts. And it's been beautiful here. In the Agridome, draw 12. And 2 games already completed. As you see, our feature game on sheet D was Alberta against BC. Alberta winning 9-0. Terrific game by Cathy Borst and her Otwell crew. And the other sheet B, Saskatchewan defeated Yukon Northwest Territories. Kelly Kalo 10-3 to improve the Saskatchewan record to 4-4. And a good end by Merklinger in the 8th to take her team to a 5-3 lead over this Newfoundland squad, Ray, and 2 shots that she really needed.
Yeah, she sure did, because she really was struggling. We came to this game late, but the numbers showed. I think she was in the 40s percent bracket, and that certainly isn't her, because she played very well the last 3 or 4 games, and then we saw 3 straight misses on her behalf in the ends where she should have scored points. Audrey Frey made a great come around, which set up the possibility of scoring the deuce, and then they just exchanged shots all along and made the good hit stick for 2. But you know how it gets sometimes. You start, it's like the snowball, you start fighting it a bit.
Yeah, it's tough when you have one of those days. Sue Garvey knows she had it this morning against Cathy Borst. BC falling to 4-4, but still in contention. And so it's up to Newfoundland, Heather Strong, to try and generate some points here. Or to blanket. She actually has a chance here to maybe get both of those. This is where you have to make your choice, don't you, Ray?
Yeah.
If you're going to keep this open, you have to be prepared in 10 to really go for it.
She first indicated she was going to play down to that and just touch the back, and now she's decided to hit them.
Michelle Renouf. Patty McKnight.
Keep them hitting. You want to keep this in front of the tee line. See where Ann has her brush, top 4 foot. That's where you want it. That's where you got it.
Pretty nice execution.
Michelle Renouf trying to get the roll in front. She must have got that started. And by that we mean inside, of course, inside the stick, because they jumped on it immediately. Same spot, Ann says.
This Ontario team, as we mentioned, have been together a number of years and worked very hard at the game. They travel the Cashspiel circuit. They train hard. They've used mental training over the last year to really try and prepare themselves for both the Olympic trials and the possibility of being here at the Scott Tournament of Hearts. And that's really what it takes nowadays. You try and rely on all the resources you can muster to be at the top of your game.
Good shot by Teresa. Perfect spot. Keeping this stone in front of the tee line really, you know, prevents Heather Strong from playing that freeze and laying up to something. She's going to try the hit and roll. Try and hit this and roll in front of the stone, her own, the Ontario stone.
Kelly Sharp.
Good try.
You have to give credit to Teresa Breen and the other members of this team too, because when your skip is struggling, often it's easy to let that affect your play, but they've kept throwing and setting up the ends, and looks like another nice hit by Teresa.
That's where the mental training comes in, you know, Linda. That's where, you know, people that scoff at some of the, you know, some of the teams that go off and, you know, get that psychological training, the mental side of the game under control, and spend some time on being able to relax the body and breathing and all the things that can make a difference to you, because this game is a game of anxieties, and they build as you move through the sport and through each game, and being able to control them. It's a big, huge part of the game. If you just if you think it's not, then I think you're just kidding yourself.
I think it's the one thing that I learned the most after making it to after winning the Scott Tournament of Hearts and making it to a final the next year, and realizing that it wasn't even anxieties that was bothering me. It was actually not understanding my motivations and ways to perform my best. And I did not perform as well in the final as I would have liked, of course. And after that, taking all the resources I could, working on the Olympics in '88, that was the biggest thing I learned about myself and the biggest improvement to my game. It may be one thing for one player. It's not a thing you can mold and say, here, this will work for you, but it's an area that I think is the biggest part of development for a competitive player. Manitoba with shot rock at the back of the 8 foot, it appears, hitting the Newfoundland stone, top 8 foot. Have to be careful of the angle.
Yes! Clean. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Nice throw by Ann.
Things feel a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Things are working.
Gee, I made two in a row. And you have to be loose out there, and there's always a member of the team that does keep you loose. Patty, I think, kind of plays that role in this team a little bit. You know, she's, you know, after Ann made the shot in 8 to get the deuce, that's when you kind of slide by your skip and you say, nice to have you back.
That's right.
And you say it, of course, in jest.
And you know each other well enough. You know it'll be a chuckle that'll come out of the skip. This is Heather's first rock of this 9th then, and it looks like she's trying the double. She's played the end not aggressively. She's played it in the last few shots to try and, it appears, get the blank.
Good call. It's a good call. Gets the double here. She could blank the end, control the hammer. She's close. She's had some bad luck, too. That's the second jam. She got the jam in the 8th end, too. That's so close. Anne had a nice soft comment for the young skip in reference to the fact that that's, you know, she's jammed again, you know. Nice throw, she said. That's tough luck on a shot like that. And it is. That's the second time that the young skip has got a jam that's made a difference. That looked like a double all the way, didn't it?
It did. A lot of distance between the stones. They're not easy, but it looked like the angle was going to be perfect. And just spilled the Ontario stone behind back 8 foot, so Anne can hit the top one and make Heather's idea of blanking very tough.
Lovely shot by Anne. Because now you, of course, Heather strong and drawing for one, so the scenario is that you're one up coming home with the hammer. That is a nice position to be in.
Well, Quebec kept plugging away. It was a very interesting ninth end. And they managed to score 2, but it's an 8-5 final. Lois Fowler of the Brandon Curling Club and her Manitoba crew take the game, and that moves them to 3-5. Quebec falls to 3-5. So just one game left. She needs full 8 foot, nearing the 4 foot with this draw.
Line looks fine.
Will it come up to the back one? It'll stop in time. That's a very nice draw for one for Newfoundland. We're going to the 10th end. Ontario leading 5-4, and they will have the hammer.
Tools for the only world that matters. Yours.
Right here, right now. There is no other place I want to be.
You're in room 1056. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
This my notebook.
Hey! You got my notebook! Excuse me!
Toshiba, toughen up for today's world. Call 1-800-387-5645.
For years, you've heard the debate.
Duracell. Energizer.
Which battery lasts longer?
Duracell.
Energizer.
Duracell.
Energizer.
Duracell.
Energizer. Duracell.
Duracell.
Recent tests proved that Duracell outlasts Energizer. Better make it the alkaline battery proven to last longer. Better make it Duracell.
Get ready for March Madness CIAU style. What a play there.
Unbelievable.
National championships are on the line in men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and hockey. So catch all the action. CIAU March Madness. Get in the game.
Draw 12 is almost complete. We have 3 final scores. Saskatchewan, Cathy Trowell of the Cali Club here in Regina defeating Kelly Kalo of the Territories 10-3. We saw Manitoba, Lois Fowler of the Brandon Curling Club, an 8-4 winner over Marie-Claude Carlos of Quebec. And our feature game, the one we started with, it ended after 5. Alberta 9-0 over British Columbia. Cathy Borst of the Otwell of Edmonton over Sue Garvey of the Kamloops Curling Club. So it just leaves us with 1 game on sheet A. And Merklinger holding Newfoundland to the 1 point in 9, and that means that she has the hammer, the advantage of last rock, and the 1 point lead coming home.
Well, the front rock was put up, and Audrey Frey tried the tick, and she came so close that just she ticked it, and now they placed it back, and the Yellowstone went over to the bumper and just touched it. Otherwise, it would have been the absolutely perfect tick, and now the rock comes back, the shooter comes off, and Heather Strong gets a chance to come around this long guard.
We saw the official go out and help them position that guard to make sure it was where it was before the tick was attempted. So they have a stone up, and Newfoundland going for the steal. Karen Thomas will try and come around it. Just a little rub.
Yeah, and now Ann gets a chance to play the peel, and that's exactly what she'll do. Rock in the rings means nothing to her at this stage. She just wants to keep the front open.
Audrey Frey. Well, we know it's a big day, and Alberta, with that big win over BC, moved to 7-1, and they will meet Team Canada, who right now sit at 5-2, along with Ontario. Of course, Ontario still on the ice. British Columbia fall to 4-4. Saskatchewan with the win moved to 4-4. We see the other teams at 4, and don't forget, although we see the teams that have dropped to 5 in 1996, 5 losses did make a tiebreaker position. So although Quebec falls down and Manitoba sits there still, they still have a chance. What's the saying? It's never over till it's over.
It's over. Till the fat lady sings.
And every time we move into the last 3 draws of the Scott Tournament of Hearts, and we try and do that, well, if this and this, it never is.
No, I never
the way
do it
we
either.
think.
Well, think about Brandon. Didn't we couldn't believe there wasn't a tiebreaker on either the men's or the women's, you know, and mine was only 3 teams qualifying, but you know, here you have 4 going into the Page system. But I umpired so often through the 70s and early 80s, Linda, at the Silver Broom and the World Championships and the World Junior, that I used to work out all the combinations out, and then in the last draw somebody would beat somebody. Oh, no. We had a 5-way tie in Burns Switzerland one year, and oh goodness, it was just a disaster. And we couldn't decide the rankings because so-and-so would beat so-and-so and so, and so we had to have a shootout, and Switzerland missed on purpose because they didn't want to play so. It was just, I went nuts. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Another front rock. Ontario will continue to peel the front stones off in an attempt to keep that front of the house open. Teresa Breen with her first stone. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Patty McKnight's last stone.
The best finish for this Ontario team in 1993 at the Scott Tournament of Hearts was 3rd place. They had the 7-4 record after round robin and play. Lost in the semifinal that year. Well, they're sitting in a very good position now, a 5-2 record. If they can keep things clean for their skip, they could move to 6-2 and be very happy with that record.
Another appeal by Patty McKnight. It was her second stone, and got that front wide open. We haven't seen many misses from the Ontario team down the line since we've joined this game, Linda. They've really played well, as we mentioned already. We have to keep harping on it, but Anne struggled for the first couple ends that we came to this sheet A.
Not very much rotation on that rock. It's almost turning back.
That's one of the things that these young players will learn quickly. The more often they get to these national events where you play in big arenas, is you know, there's 2,500 people here this morning, maybe 3,000, and there'll be 5,000 this afternoon and 7,000 tonight. So the ice is a little bit softer. You must have rotation. We've established that over the years. Everybody knows it.
Sometime moving into the 10th in, and you know the guard has to be up there. You hang on a little bit too long, and that can happen. You drag the handle and the weight off the stone. And it's just another one of those learning experiences we talk about.
I think Heather should try and she's going to change the location of this front rock, so they seem to have a groove right down there with that out-turn peel. Kelly Sharp. Her last stone of this 10th in. Newfoundland needing a steal to tie this game.
And they did steal last night, Tuesday night, against Prince Edward Island. Got a couple of front stones up, and Heather Strong did get a nice one into position behind the guard. In this case, Ontario's trying to prevent those stones from gathering. Trying the double.
More importantly, though, they want that off the front. That's for sure. The double would have been a nice little bonus. And Anne knew the angle, so they brushed it hard all the way. Another good brushing team. Something else you have to have. You have to come here with people that know how to brush. Especially on arena ice like this, that you can drag the rocks a long way.
Well, this is a discussion for Newfoundland. We watched in their discussion Tuesday evening when they were going for the steal, when to come into the house, when to leave it short. In this case, they do have the one stone in the 8-foot. They were talking about whether to bring this next one in and hope for a nose hit in the house, or to put it out front.
A lot of young people in the building this morning. Part of one of their classes, I guess, that morning to get away from school. Lots of cheering.
Well, you did say everybody could take the day off work, so certainly the children could take the day off school. Karen Thomas on the right, Michelle Renouf on the left, sweeping the guard into position.
There they are, here in force.
They had banners and signs, of course, a little more interested when Saskatchewan was playing. Saskatchewan, Cathy Trowell beating the Territories fairly early after 7, 10-3. But a few of them have still stayed on to cheer.
The out-turn peel for Anne Merklinger. That running surface, a quarter-inch running surface.
And she knows that if she can get rid of this one, no matter what Newfoundland does, she should have a shot of that 4-foot.
always a good sign, isn't it? Yes, no.
Yes, no, clean. I love the sound of those words when I'm skipping.
Clean.
So, Ray, the position of this one. This is something that's not bad to telestrate, sometimes not as easy to get there. Very nice circle, I might add.
Well, you've got the pressure on me all the time.
But this is really up to the sweepers now. It's up to the skip to give them the weight, but if they sweep it a little bit too far, it's a nose hit for the win for Ann Merklinger. If they leave it a little too long, she's got more room to get into the forefoot. So the positioning of this rock is left to the sweepers, and it's a very big task for them. Ontario leading 5-4. This is the last stone for Heather Strong in Newfoundland, needing the steal.
Liddy has a good future in this game, I think. She just needs to get some experience. Oh, she's come up a little light on this.
It's important to get it in to force Ann to hit and stay. No.
That's too bad. Anywhere in the rings would have forced Ontario to make the hit and stick. Now it's just contact to win the game for her.
So after a few struggles in this game by Ann herself, not the Ontario team, it's an open hit. Ontario has a chance to defeat Newfoundland, improve their record to 6-2. Just needs to pick it out. Ann Merklinger. Audrey Frey on the left, Patty McKnight on the right. Teresa Breen calling the line. No problem. So it'll be a 6-4 victory for Ontario. Ann Merklinger from the Rideau Curling Club in Ottawa. So I say moving to 6-2. And there's the pats on the back. Definitely a good team effort, and Ann knows it. So Ontario moving into a good position just behind our leaders, Alberta, Cathy Borst, 7-1. Team Canada coming on the ice next draw, sitting at 5-2. There's our 4 losses. BC dropping to 4-4. Saskatchewan improving to 4-4. PEI sitting at that 3-4 mark. Along with New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, we will see them all next draw. Manitoba 3-5, along with Quebec, the Territories, and Newfoundland at 2-6. 12 draws are complete at the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
Son, you got to dig deep. You got to dig deep. Think back. Remember when you were 6 and we took you to McDonald's for your birthday party? All the kids, all the fun. All for you, son. For you. Remember that day, son? Remember when someone stole your fries, but we never found out who? Never found out.
It was him. Did somebody say McDonald's?
Imagine living in a neighborhood where the worst traffic you encounter is a group of running 8-year-olds, where you actually know your neighbors. And the biggest crime committed is that steak you burned last night. Recreation vehicles. Wherever you go, you're always at home. Call today for a free brochure or visit an RV dealer near you.
For years, you've heard the debate.
Duracell. Energizer.
Which battery lasts longer?
Duracell.
Energizer.
Duracell.
Energizer.
Duracell.
Energizer. Duracell.
Duracell.
Recent tests proved that Duracell outlasts Energizer. Better make it the alkaline battery proven to last longer. Better make it Duracell.
This is where I work. These are my co-workers. Those are my customers. And that's me. Employee number 8. I make baskets.
The explosive, raucous, raunchy WCW Nitro hits TSN. Watch it and watch out. Wednesday, TSN. Thursday, the NHL's best are back on TSN. Catch an original 6 matchup between the Leafs and the Rangers. And best of all, there's no time change. Molson NHL tonight. Check it out on TSN.
The 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts from Regina, Saskatchewan on TSN is brought to you by Scott Towels, always thirsty for more.
So 12 draws are complete here in Regina at the Agridome, the 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts. And we will see next draw just over an hour from now. Team Canada, Sandra Schmerler facing off against our leader, Cathy Borst from the Otwell in Edmonton. That's 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Coming up next, you'll see WCW Nitro. Stay tuned for it. On behalf of Ray and our entire crew, thanks very much, and see you in just over an hour for Draw 13 here at the Scott Tournament of Hearts.